Hi, my name is Matheus de Moraes. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of Campinas in Brazil. My supervisor is Professor Guilherme Coelho, and I'll be presenting our work, Combinatorial Production Optimization using the decomposition-based evolutionary algorithm. First of all, what's production optimization? It's the idea of optimizing a set of decision variables that models how to explore a reservoir. There are different categories of these decision variables. For instance, the design variables that contains the urgent infrastructure aspects that must be decided before the exploration, like the number of wells, well type, among others. There are the control operational variables that models some kind of specifications of equipment that can be considered during the exploration, like control valve choke. And future variables that models some kind of alternatives that can be considered during the exploration too. Production optimization is essentially a multi-objective optimization problem. There are several objective functions that can be used to assess the quality of the strategies. The decision makers can decide for the net present value, the recovery factor, the cumulative water production, CO2 emission, among many other objective functions. Here's the formulation of a multi-objective optimization problem. The idea is to minimize or maximize a set of objective functions simultaneously. There are the decision vectors, the x with an arrow above here. Each decision vector is contains n decision variables that models how to explore the reservoir. The problem may be subject to equality or inequality constraints that composes the feasible region, represented here by the omega symbol. In a multi-objective optimization problem, there's not a single global optimal solution, but a set of solutions that best considers the trade-offs between the objective functions. This figure illustrates this idea. There are the dominated solutions with non-optimal objective function values, the blue dots here, and the solutions with the best objective function values, the solutions with the red dots. The idea in a multi-objective optimization problem is to always reach the frontier of non-dominated solutions. In our work, we have been using the decomposition-based evolutionary algorithms. This category of algorithm is considered a breakthrough in optimization, because they can decompose the multi-objective optimization problem into several scalar subproblems that are optimized simultaneously. To do that, the decomposition-based methods creates a uniform distribution of weight vectors. In this image, I show this idea in a bi-objective problem and a three-objective problem. There are the weight vectors distribution and also a reference point. This reference point, also called reference vector or ideal point, will guide the exploration of the search space independently of the number of objective functions. By using the weight vectors, the reference point, and a decomposition function, the decomposition-based methods works with several subproblems. In our work, we have been using the Chebyshev decomposition, this equation here, which idea is to minimize the maximum distance between the strategies and the reference vector. This decomposition function is used for all subproblems. Therefore, the decomposition-based methods can guide the exploration of the search space independently of the number of objective functions. In our work, we have been performing production optimization using discrete decision variables. Here is an example of how to model a production optimization using discrete decision variables. We can, for instance, decide for the well direction, if it's horizontal or vertical, the I and J here. And we can add to the IJK coordinates that indicates where that well will be drilled. Another solution representation with discrete decision variables is a binary solution representation like this. We can work with candidate wells positions, producers and injectors, and this binary solution represents if that candidate well position will be present, the 1, or absent, 0, in that particular solution. Working with discrete decision variables have the main advantages of having a smaller search space, so we have to look in fewer solutions, and is also have a simpler solution representation. It's fairly easy to handle production optimization with discrete decision variables like this. The main disadvantage is, since we are working with discrete decision variables, it's fairly easy to generate duplicated solutions during the optimization. Duplicated solutions imposes a real threat for expensive problems like reservoir simulation, because it makes the reproduction of evolutionary algorithms inefficient. Reproduction is a main aspect of evolutionary algorithms, where parent solutions are combined to generate novel strategies. It slows the convergence process, since you are using space in the current population that could be used for novel strategies. It is a waste of time and resource, since you will perform reservoir simulation with solutions that you already know the results. And also it needs to be addressed carefully. We cannot simply discard them and insert random solutions. We have to work with intelligent methods. Because of all of this, we have proposed a new algorithm which we called MOID and FTS. This algorithm has a structure of a decomposition-based evolutionary algorithm, MOID, but it also incorporates a diversity preservation method, taboo search, and knowledge-assisted local search mechanisms that tries to modify duplicated solutions to improve the convergence process. We tested our proposition in a benchmark case, the Unicamp 2D benchmark case, which is a synthetic carbonate black oil simulation model with several regions of high permeability. It is a corner point grid with a matrix of 46, 69, and 30. The cell size is 100 by 100 by 80 meters. There are approximately 65,000 active cells, and the objective functions are the maximization of the net present value, the maximization of the cumulative oil production, and the minimization of cumulative water production, all at the same time. In this benchmark case, we consider a 5-spot pattern containing 127 candidate well positions, being 65 producers and 62 injectors, and the solution representation is binary, indicating the presence or the absence of each particular candidate well position. The goal here is to select a subset of these candidate positions, becoming a well placement problem. The optimization type is nominal, so we do not consider uncertainties. The stopping criteria is 6,000 reservoir simulations, and we compare a baseline algorithm, MOID, and our proposition, MOID and FTS, that incorporates diversity preservation. Here I show the frontier of non-dominated solutions found by the baseline algorithm, the blue X, and our proposed method, the yellow star. We can see here that the frontier of our proposed method contains more solutions, and the frontier of solutions found by our proposition dominates the frontier of the baseline algorithm. Finding more non-dominated strategies is an important aspect of production optimization. since it gives the decision makers more options to choose from. Here I show the oil saturation map of the solution with the best NPV and the solution with the best cumulative oil production found by the baseline algorithm. We can see here there are 17 similarities between them. By similarity, I mean the wells that were equally selected by both solutions. The average similarity between the non-dominated solutions found by the baseline algorithm is 18.23. In contrast, when we analyze the same situation with our proposed method, there are only 2 similarities between these solutions. And the average similarity between non-dominated solutions found by our proposition is 5.76. Less similarities between solutions is another important aspect for production optimization, since we give the decision makers a wider range of potential strategies. We can work with strategies with similar results but different approaches. If we consider the average objective functions over the iterations, we can also see that our method, the red line here, achieves a faster convergence, higher results, better results, with less iterations. Faster convergence is another important aspect for production optimization, since it gives less computational effort, produces less computational effort. In this chart, I show the convergence process after group of iterations, and we compare the baseline algorithm, the blue dots, and our proposed method, the red dots. The idea is to reach the black dots here, which are the best known solutions for this benchmark case. So when we compare the baseline and our proposition, we can see that our proposition reaches the frontier of our reference set, the best known solutions, and also contains more non-dominated strategies. In summary, considering the same number of reservoir simulations, we achieved more non-dominated strategies with less similarities between them and faster convergence. For more information, please refer to our published paper at the Expert Systems with Applications journal, and we have also another paper which is now under review. As the next steps, we want to handle expensive evaluations like reservoir simulation. We developed a novel method that has the same structure but also incorporates surrogate models, proxies. We tested this novel method in test functions, but we have yet to test this novel proposition to production optimization. And since our method produces more non-dominated strategies, we want to support the decision after the optimization takes place, supporting the decision makers to select a single solution after the optimization. To perform this, we want to apply multi-criteria decision-making techniques. We would like to thank our sponsors, and thank you very much for seeing this presentation.